welcome back to the official daily broadcast.
I'm Cora.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Skylar.
As most of you know, on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, the Japanese naval forces launched an attack on the Hawaiian island of Oahu.
This date was chosen because that was when the Pacific Fleet was supposed to return back to Oahu after training.
The attack lasted a total of 90 minutes. There were 2 waves of attack, 90% done in the first wave.
According to our research, aircraft, inventory, gunners, and ships were all destroyed. 160 aircraft, 4 battleships, and 3 destroyers.
More than 2,400 American servicemen had died in this attack. America had believed that they were insusceptible to attack.
When the attack had happened, Franklin D. Roosevelt held a radio broadcasting to give a speech of what had occurred.
Roosevelt was elected into office in 1932 and remained president for 12 years. He was the first U.S. president to be elected for 4 terms and died shortly after being elected for his 4th term. He was also the first president to use radio broadcasting for mass communication.
He used this speech as a means of mass communication in order to give the Americans hope for what had just happened.
He portrayed the Japanese as dishonorable for what they have done. Roosevelt persuaded Congress to declare war on Japan.
Finally, on December 8, 1941, the United States entered the Second World War.
The overall theme of this speech was to inform the nation of the attacks that had just occurred. It was also to give the Americans hope that everything will be okay.
We have commissioned a team to further analyze FDR's infamy speech that was made in response to the Pearl Harbor attacks. Hello, my name is Beth.
My name is Kyla.
And I'm Barbara.
And we are a part of the team that will be analyzing FDR's infamy speech.
Now, to begin our analytical interpretation of FDR's speech, we will be listening to a segment from his mass broadcasting.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
FDR begins the speech by addressing the Vice President, the Speaker, and the members of both the Senate and the House of Representatives.
His use of ethos or credibility helps him support his claim.
When he utilizes dashes to insert the phrase, "a day which will live in infamy," he is using the rhetorical device parenthesis. Even though parentheses are not present, the dashes have the same impact of including additional information. Infamy is defined as being well known for a wicked or evil act.
According to an article written by Katie Metler, the word infamy was not in the original draft of the speech. The phrase originally read, "a day which will live in world history."
This minor detail shifted the course of the phrase forever.
He applies logos for the purpose of strengthening his statement and building trust with the listeners.
Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. Last night, the Japanese attacked Wake Island. And this morning, the Japanese attacked Midway Island.
Roosevelt provides factual evidence to describing the locations that were attacked by Japanese forces. This is a use of logos. He also uses pathos to alarming and awakening the citizens of America.
FDR also employs the rhetorical devices anaphora and simple repetition. Anaphora is the repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. When he is listing the locations that were attacked, he repeats the phrase, "last night Japanese forces attacked," in order to get the point across and alert the nation that the Japanese were dangerous and targeting America.
No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory. I believe that I interpret the will of the Congress and of the people when I assert that we will not only defend ourselves to the uttermost, but will make it very certain that this form of treachery shall never again endanger us.
To begin, Roosevelt uses uplifting and inspiring phrases in order to motivate the American people. Through this, he uses a combination of argumentative and persuasive styles.
By speaking on behalf of the citizens, he rallies their spirits in believing that they will overcome this tragic loss. Paul Bartels highlights that FDR took advantage of mass communication, which led the Americans to triumph.
He believes in his people and the government behind them. He assures them that he will lead them to victory.
Pathos motivates the individual to stay strong and have faith in their country. It appeals to their sense of pride and encourages them to take action.
It stirs with the individual's inner emotions and feelings, uplifting them in a time of disaster. According to Warren Kimball, FDR used clever political maneuvers, and this is what brought the American spirit up.
Hostilities exist. There is no blinking at the fact that our people, our territory, and our interests are in grave danger. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
In the closing statements of his speech, Roosevelt gives one final push at inspiring and igniting the fire under the United States people. There are multiple rhetorical devices found within these sentences, beginning with the obvious use of anaphora towards the start of the paragraph.
Using the word "are" really drives the point home that the U.S. was in danger and needed to act quickly. He then goes to insert additional information through the use of dashes, another example of parenthesis.
This extra bit of detail exemplifies FDR's true belief that he and his country will make it through this tough time. At the end of his sentence, he makes the remark that America will power through his setback, so help us God.
This comment and the usage of the word us make it appear that all of America, FDR included, are all in this together. He incorporates pathos as he appeals to the audience's fear and emotions.
He does this in order to motivate the people and stay confident and reassured. Near the end of his speech, he uses logos to back up his argument by stating facts.
According to Merrill Perlman, this speech is when the American public got fully behind the war in a way that hasn't happened since, all because of Pearl Harbor and the speech FDR wrote. And now back to the studio with Skylar,
Sarah,
And Cora. Thanks, guys.
and now for some questions.
When I think of infamy, it gives me a sad feeling, kind of like the 9/11, because we used to be so openly freedom and so trusting with our citizens, and now we have to have a bunch of security in airports. We have to we're not allowed to take as many items in our baggages anymore, and I just think it's sad that we cannot be as trusting, and that basically those people took away that trust from each other.
An event that makes me think of the word infamy would be the Holocaust, because my grandparents went through the Holocaust, and I know that millions of people lost their lives because of just terrible policies and terrible leadership. So I would definitely think of the word infamy.
If I was living in the time of Pearl Harbor and there was a war going on between Japan, then I would be really scared because it interrupts daily life and friends and family may be killed, and I would be terrified.
If I was in Pearl Harbor and I saw that we were going to war, then I would have been distraught and a little bit scared and sad too. Just the thought of going to war and dying for battle for a country, I would feel a little bit patriotic, but at the same time, I don't think I'd be able to say goodbye to my family and keep a straight face.
Thank you for watching the official daily broadcast.
We'll see you next time.